Year 3 of being an image maker. What a journey, what a ride. When I was starting out, I wanted to find people who had similar experience to me, who looked like me, who were trying to do the thing that I was trying to do. And a lot of people had cameras around the house. That wasn't me because we didn't have photos. My journey is a little bit different. I grew up in the projects in East New York, Lewis H. Pinkhouse's projects. My mother was someone who struggled with drug addiction, and she had children that she couldn't care for. Wheezy is my mother's aunt who adopted me from an infant. Her name is Louise Folk. Everyone who knew her called her Wheezy. She was my mother and my best friend. She was the first example that I had of love, which is why I love the way that I do, which is big and hard. Wheezy had a very, very big heart, and she cared about people. And that's one of the things that she kind of instilled in me, is just having compassion for people. When she passed away, and I wanted to take moments to reflect on her life, her legacy, our life together, I realized that we didn't have any photos, or not many. It wasn't until the lack of photos and the realizing that we didn't have photos that I decided to be the person who documented other people. I wanted to say something, and photography was the only medium that I felt like I had complete agency over my voice. I am completely self-taught. The camera that was my introduction into photography was the Fujifilm X-T3. And that's where I started. I started with that, and I've never looked back. When I think about my work, the one idea that comes to mind is I'm trying to showcase and display Black people the way I see them. I'm a firm believer that Black people are non-monolithic. We are not one thing, and people are allowed to have layers. The side that you view with your eyes may not be all-encompassing of the totality of a being. Even if I show up and I have braids down to my behind, and I have a mouthful of gold teeth, and acrylic nails, that's not the totality of who I am. Therefore, I should not be defined by that one perspective or that one aspect of my being. How we present is our way of self-expression. It's not all-encompassing of who we are. Because I rap music doesn't mean I don't like literature. I make photography first and foremost for myself. And then I make it for Black people, to show Black people that they matter and that they're cared about, and that their histories, their identities, their flavor, their style, everything about them I love. Photography has given me purpose. With the environment that I grew up in, I was never afraid to be different. I was never afraid to want more or to strive for more. Wheezy's biggest thing is there are no exceptions. If you want it, you can have it and you can get it, and that's currently what I'm doing. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm more afraid to not have tried.